Lou Thesz faithfully defended his World Heavyweight Championship.
Rogers strut. Kowalski's got him right where he wants him.
Dory Funk Jr. wanting that World Heavyweight Championship.
10 pounds of pure gold.
Simon Felder's Dusty Rhodes has just become the World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
Presenting the greatest organization in wrestling history.
We always deliver on our promises at the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, but pretty hard, and look at what are you going to work now? Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Sturger Time, and thank you for joining me once again for another episode of NWA The Dynasty. We are waiting for some of our tag teams to sign up so we can get this damn tournament going. We have the Crockett Cup at the end of the month of July barreling towards us, and we need to get the ball going. Our plan is to have 8 teams, 4 NWA teams, 4 outsider teams, all competing, the winner of which will get a title shot at the pay-per-view. That is sort of the plan, but we need to get it going. We have 6 days to get everybody in, so that's sort of the plan right now. But that's going to take a bit of time. We also at some point need to groom down this roster a little bit. But just people we're not going to use anymore, I think. So I'm going to look through. I'm probably going to axe a few people that I don't think we need, that either were just part of the original NWA when we started it, or just we're at our end with using them, and just to groom it down a little bit. We also talk about potentially adding another belt or two. I like the idea of doing maybe a women's tag or a women's trio. I don't think we have enough of a roster for a women's trio, but I want to give the women's roster a little bit more to do and to fight for, and I think the best way to do that is to give them another title to try to strive for. And I think a team-based one, either trios or team or tag team, will allow for more building around stables and things like that. That could be helpful for us. So that's sort of my long-term game plan. Overall, though, we're doing pretty good. We are at, let's see, 37 still in our area. Did that dip? I don't think it did. Actually, that went up massively, in fact. It looks like we were at 35 in the Southeast in June. As of now, we are at 37. So moving up pretty well. We have a long way to go until we get to medium. But we are seeing some big movement here. We got that new contract for our events that are going to be helpful. We also have our new contract for our TV show that's already been helpful. Again, looking at the finances is insane. When you look at the broadcast revenue of just a few weeks in, we've made more money than we did in the entirety of the month. I'm very curious to see how that shakes out after one whole month on this broadcast. I think we've been on for like 2 weeks or something like that. So we've already doubled what we've been doing. I suspect our pay-per-views equally are going to be pretty killer. Yeah, so I mean, overall, finances maybe on a turnaround. We're still dipping in. We're still going lower and lower. In terms of our contracts, I mean, there are some expenses, right? Like, Nick Aldis, for some reason, is at $8,700 per month. I don't know why. That is what he started as, and I never changed him, and that seems crazy to me. Cody at 4, Steen at 4, Zane at 2,500, Rude, Eddie, Tarus, all at about 1,100, and everybody else is pretty okay. So I don't think it's a contract issue so much overall. I think most of our contracts look relatively fine. It's just getting the revenue in. So that's sort of the goal, and hopefully these contracts help us out. Now we have another episode of Worldwide. Hopefully we can get all of the tag teams in today. If we don't, we got a bit of a problem because we're on a tight schedule between now and Crockett Cup. But I don't think we'll have to worry about that. I think they'll all be in. So let's go ahead, let's sim forward, and let's see if we're going to have a disaster on our hands. All right, we have Worldwide tonight. We also were first in our regional battle. That means we have a boost of 5% in this region for the next month. Hopefully something we can utilize pretty prominently. That's my hope, at least. I do see that we also had some alliance loans. I haven't checked in a while. And we're going to have to probably expand outwards at some point. Everybody is still champion. I've not seen if there's any defenses elsewhere. I'm kind of shocked that these titles have not been defended outside of our companies at all, which is a little weird. I do see them, going through. I can edit the title and see. Event. That might not often. Normal. Might change these up a little bit. Which may have been a bit of the problem here. I would like to see them on other shows more often within our and that may have been not often. Tour never for the women's. TV frequency not often. That's good. World heavyweight, same thing. Tour frequency never. Normal, not often. That'll be good for now. I want to see them on other shows within our alliance, and that's also because it helps get them reps, get them wins. But also, I think it'd be kind of fun to see one of these change hands elsewhere and have a total curveball be thrown our way. I think that's kind of fun to react to. Like if Allison Kay, if someone in Shimmer or Stardom, I think we are aligned with Stardom. If someone in Stardom took the title, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Right? We could completely throw a curveball and do a whole storyline involving that. I would love to see that. I would love to see it a little bit out of our control. So maybe I'll tweak them some more to have that happen. I don't know. But it would be fun. So, that said, we, ladies and gentlemen, have a tournament to run. That's right, it is the Crockett Cup. We have a small tournament this time. We're not doing the big one like we did last time because we only have a couple weeks to run this, but it's an 8-man tag elimination tournament. The winner of it will face the New Horsemen for the NWA Tag Team titles. Let's see who is competing. So we have the Von Erichs, NWA former champions, will be facing off with the Workhorsemen. A different horseman set, obviously getting big popularity on the independent scene, and certainly with their work in Ring of Honor AEW, have a interesting challenge on their hands to face the former champions, but will be in a strong standing if they had an opportunity like that. We also have the House Party No More, now the reformed Lucha Club, versus NWA's South Pacific Savages of the True Bloodline. Anybody's game there, honestly, who knows. We have AEW's Warhausen versus New Japan Pro Wrestling's Aussie Open. And also, I don't think Miss Save, but current Ring of Honor champions. We have Breeze and Sleaze versus Impact's Motor City Machine Guns. So, some big prestige names in there, especially Aussie Open, who's been having a great year, obviously. Motor City Machine Guns, a legendary team, as a probably early favorite in this tournament. And just some fan favorites, the Workhorsemen, Lucha Club, and obviously our our own teams within the company. So we're going to do 2 matches tonight, 2 matches the next week, and then we'll have the finals. I believe it's actually just the finals afterwards, and then the challenge. The semifinals, then the finals, then at the actual pay-per-view, the winner of the tournament will challenge for the title. So, pretty decent little crew. I'm excited to see how it shakes out. With that said, let's get over to the show. We do have some backstage incidents to deal with. We got one involving Jacob and Juicy. Jake Fatu passing on tips to his protege. So, good. Locker room controls, we're going to go ahead and open forum. I'm just going to try to clear some of that air. Some people are a little upset about being left off of the show. Not a huge deal, but, our last show was, let's say, underwhelming. Even though we got number one on our regionals, it certainly was the weakest show that we ran. So something we're going to have to keep in mind as we run this. The tournament's going to put a bit of a hamper on it, but also some of the storylines can put a hamper on it. So we'll have to see how we can navigate that and manage. But with that said, let's go ahead. Let's make sure we are booked in the correct spot. And it's not that one. I want the NWA official studio. Select the venue. 284 fans expected. Let's go ahead and let's run the show. Catch you guys on the flip for another episode of Worldwide. All right, everybody, we are back with another episode of Worldwide. Full 125 minutes, plus a couple pre-show matches. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we have in store here. Starting to show off, we got the New Horsemen who just put on the pre-show, give them some reps in before their big tournament title defense. Would probably have them on the main show, but just with the fact that we have to have 2 tournament matches tonight, it just makes it difficult. So give them a pre-show match, let them warm up the crowd with Midnight Heat. Did pretty good. 47 New Horsemen defeat the Midnight Heat, and Brian Pillman Jr. carried the match with a 54. Everybody else did, honestly pretty okay, though. Same situation, giving Lance NOI a little bit more reps here. He had a decent reaction with little heat, but Lance NOI defeats Odinson in 10 minutes with a Wild Samoan Splash. Does a 43, actually not too bad. So, overall, not too bad. I have Uncle Fatu set for Lance, which isn't right. I'll have to change that. He shouldn't have a manager. I probably, when I was setting everybody up, just gave everybody this NOI or a Fatu, Uncle Fatu, but he's actually not part of the bloodline. So, at least not yet. That's going to be kind of a thing of won't he kind of situation. So, we'll have to remove that to make sure we don't get another penalty. But overall, actually not too bad at a 41. For our undercard, that's not too shabby. And we have Kota Kai and Thunder Rosa versus Ramona Riot and Delilah Doom. This is a pretty good match. It is considered good. Kota Kai and Thunder Rosa defeat Ramona Riot and Delilah Doom in 11 minutes. Kota Kai gets the pinfall on Delilah Doom with a top rope splash. Delilah Doom, of course, is the weak link of the bunch, but honestly, doing much better. She's at a 40 now. Hardly in the same caliber of these other 3 women, but definitely doing a lot better. So our work in trying to build her up has been generally successful. And again, once we get a tag, I think we'll probably introduce a tag title after this tournament. And that might give us a bit of opportunity to play around with some stables, some groups, and to kind of help some of these women out. And also, we'll probably add a few more people to the women's roster to kind of help bolster it a little bit. But overall, not too bad. And we start the show off with a shockingly bad segment for one that involves Cody, which is very odd. Very, very odd. I don't know why. I would think just Cody's presence should have popped this a lot more. That's odd. So Cody's backstage with the members of Dynasty, dressing them down. He says that they've been consistently dropping the ball. Axel failed to win the Strongbow Memorial Tournament despite having the Order to leverage for support. And the Order have consistently been messing things up, including last week. Cody mentions to Roy that, I don't understand what the problem is because I'm looking at your son out there, Ricky Knight, and he's the only one that's been picking up big wins. Maybe I should replace all of you with him. Roy gets all furious, gets up in Cody's face, starts snarling, and just says, "You leave my son out of this." Before walking away with Zach Knight, Cody shoots darts from his eyes into the back of the Order as they walk away. Obviously, the tensions here are bubbling up. Cody's got too much ego to have a group, and he is not liking sort of their output already. I am not liking whatever the hell happened here. Why did this get such a poor segment? I have no idea. Just Cody talking should be like a 50. So I don't know. That's concerning. Maybe I had Cody set for like sex appeal or something accidentally, or I don't know. That's so bizarre. But whatever. We'll move on from it. We move on to our first of our Crockett Cup tournament matches, and it's not great. Not great at all. The South Pacific Savages versus Lucha Club. And it had decent wrestling. Did not have much heat to it, obviously. But the South Pacific Savages defeat Lucha Club in 13 minutes. Journey Fatu submits Lince Dorado with interference from Uncle Fatu in the ring, allowing for the win here. Metalik here gets a debut of adequate for his gimmick of Luchador. Lince Dorado has the Golden Links gimmick and his initial rating of great. And Samurai del Sol is ringside as a manager and gets adequate for Master Luchador. Metalik was obviously held back by the chaotic nature of this match. Kind of a bummer. I was hoping that we could eke something more out of the South Pacific Savages, and I'm not happy with this in-ring performance here. I had some fears last week, and definitely some major concerns now. But we move them on regardless. Metalik and Lince, okay. Pretty okay. I think they're going to hang around in the NWA regardless of losing this here. And will be a good tag team to help our other tag members kind of move up here. 58 and 52, pretty standard baseline. That's a good mid-carder. So I think there'll be a good mid-card act for us in the tag scene. But the South Pacific Savages do, with the help of Uncle Fatu, move on to the semifinals of quarterfinals of the Crockett Cup tournament with a really bad segment. Afterwards, another really bad segment where the Fatus decide to also then beat up Lucha Club after the match. Yeah. Not happy with this. 36. I was thinking about doing something with them afterwards, like, if Journey and Juicy win the tournament, if they win the titles, are these the next competitors? If they lose the tournament, is it because of interference from them? And having like Lucha Club versus the South Pacific Savages as sort of a short-term feud. I'm not sure now about that, because I am really disappointed with how these segments are shaping up here. But the Fatus beat the crap out of Lucha Club and leave them to the ground here in their weird NWO adjacent storyline that we've built for the True Bloodline. Afterwards, Remy Zane comes out of nowhere and helps save the show, which has been lackluster so far, with a quick backstage interview with Kathy Kelly. Kathy's asking him about, what's going on with Steen. Steen says he's got to whip you into shape. He wants to fight you. He wants blood. Are you accepting the challenge? And Remy says, no, I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I thought we were over this, and we keep on replaying this over and over again, this vicious cycle, and I'm just through with it. I want to move on. I want to compete. I want to climb back to the top, and I want to become NWA World Champion. And I have no more interest in Kevin Steen. So walks away from Kathy Kelly with that. Remy Zane not going to accept Kevin Steen's challenge. Another pretty crummy segment here, but it's a very short one. Cody Rhodes, Ricky Knight, and Brandy Rhodes in the segment. Cameras backstage after Kathy Kelly's interview with Remy Zane, and catches Ricky Knight walking backstage and knocking on a door, and we see that on the door is the sign for the private locker room of Cody Rhodes. Brandy opens up the door and ushers Ricky inside. Before the door closes, we see Cody greet Ricky and kind of start whispering into his ear. So Cody seems to be making good on the threat from the earlier today, where maybe he'll bring Ricky Knight in. Maybe he doesn't need the Order. Maybe he doesn't need the Dynasty anymore. Maybe he just needs a new young prospect, someone that he can take under his wing and mold him. So, kind of interesting development here. Cody Rhodes does a masterful job improvising. Actually, all things considered, a 49's not bad. Ricky's kind of got the charisma of a cardboard box. So, young upstart, young lion, not that shocking, but kind of an interesting development with Cody and Ricky here. Aron Stevens also trying to bring the crowd back here with us, because backstage we have a gloomy room lit only by candles. Aron stands there, reborn in a majestic white cloth, looking like a priest. Standing beside him is Black Taurus, menacingly lumbering over him like a dark shadow. Beside him, Alley Catch, dressed in black leather, holding up a tome to the camera that Aron had found originally. I'm sick of jokes, Aron says. I'm sick of the jokers and the jesters of the world. I'm sick of the joke that became of my career. Some lauded me as a genius once long time ago. Yet, forever since, I've never been taken seriously. I don't understand why. I don't understand how to get out of it. But then I found this book, and I began reading, and it changed my life. He motions to Alley Catch to show the tome to the camera, and we finally get a good look of the words. It reads, "The Book of Josephus." Words from a wise man now gone, filled with prophecies yet to be fulfilled, actions that must come to pass. I see it now, my place, all the players, all our places in it. You see, they say that life is just a play, and we are but merely players in it. But in order for the next scene to come to pass, the book says a sacrifice needs to be made. Colt Cabana, you will be the first of many. Give their blood for the resurrection. Aron has gone off the deep end. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a cult. No Laughing Matter continues to advance. We get a 55. Got the crowd hotter. Aron has now built a cult around Black Taurus, Alley Catch, and the revived book of Josephus from many years ago in this save. Refound, rekindled. Lord knows what dark tidings are in the book, what powers Aron may find, and what prophecies he will try to fulfill. And we have a glorious match with Bobby Roode taking Tim Storm Jr. under his wing. They defeat Mance Warner and Kerry Morton in 10 minutes. Bobby Roode gets a submission with Kerry Morton. Gets a Fujiwara armbar there. Kerry Morton, the weak link, with a 31. Mance Warner looking good with a 61. Bobby Roode with a 58. And Tim Storm with a 46. 57 overall, not too bad. Not a lot of story here other than building up sort of this protege relationship with Tim Storm Jr. Tim Storm's just been kind of hopping around people, looking for people to go under his wing. He's found Bobby Roode here after a handed loss from him in the pay-per-view and seems to be trying to learn from him. And Bobby Roode seemingly taking him under his wing. So we'll have to see what Bobby's real intentions in the NWA are, but right now he's just been silently smirking, grinning, and wrestling and winning. So we will have to see where that goes. Afterwards, we have Jamie Hayter backstage with another interview from Kathy Kelly, and she talks to her about a challenge with Allison Kay. You know, she says that she's learned from her last match. She's ready to go. She knows what Allison's weaknesses are. She knows what her limits are. She's ready to push it, and she's ready to finish her story and become NWA Women's Champion. So we get a 45 there. Afterwards, we have a pretty middling match with Ricky Knight Jr. versus Eddie Colon. Eddie Colon is very upset about this match, but we give Ricky Knight a big win with somebody that's way up on the card. I think Ricky Knight Jr. has potential to be a very good upper mid-carder for us. We just got to get him reps. And the reason why is he's unimportant right now with very little popularity. He's very young at a young lion, and he's already putting a 38 in, almost a 40. Eddie Colon is considered recognized or a star. I take a look at where he is, and is putting in a 40. So what can Ricky Knight Jr. do if we give him a little momentum? That's my theory. We are investing in Ricky Knight Jr. We are de-investing into Eddie Colon, who will be very pissed off that he lost his match, but we'll deal with it later. As planned, this match brought the crowd down a little bit because they were a little hyped. Interesting to note here that Ricky Knight Jr. won in the pinfall with a crossroads, using Cody Rhodes' finishing move on Eddie Colon. Segment gets a 40. Afterwards, Cody comes out to congratulate Ricky Knight on the win, celebrating with him. We gain some story heat for this. Ricky Knight, unfortunately, was underwhelming compared to Cody, and Cody was a real star in the segment. Got the crowd hotter. Overall gets a 53. The goal here, get Ricky Knight associated with Cody Rhodes, build that up, kind of continue to advance this here as we build this another protege story here. You know, again, NWA Dynasty is all about those legacies, and this one is the legacy of the grandson of a, you know, I wouldn't say acclaimed, but known indie UK star, son of one that never really made it, and now the son of a plumber, taking him under his wing, and kind of doing so almost vindictively. But Ricky got the win, got a big win that he shouldn't have against someone he shouldn't have, and did it with the crossroads. So very interesting development there. We have the second in our tournament matches here, Breeze and Sleaze versus Motor City Machine Guns. This is a pretty good match. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin got the cocky gimmick. They both get initial ratings. Great, not shocking. This had great wrestling, had decent reaction from the crowd. Motor City Machine Guns are able to defeat Breeze and Sleaze in 15 minutes. Alex Shelley gets the pin on Zicky Dice with a Border City stretch. Alex Shelley, of course, carrying the match with in-ring performance here. Certainly so, with a 66. Chris Sabin with a 56. And Zicky and Matthias Breeze when they like the mid to low 50s. They move on to the next step in the Crockett Cup tournament. Pretty good match. I'm pretty happy with that. And we have an exhibition match with Remy Zane versus Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson's able to defeat Remy Zane in this match with a pulp friction following interference from Kevin Steen. A lot of interference this show. Kevin Steen heard what Remy had to say and said, "No, dog, you're not going to get the move up. We have unfinished business." Unfortunately, this actually loses some heat with the storyline destined to do this forever. Juice Robinson also a little bit off his game here with a 47. Remy had a 69. Gets us a rating of a 68, though. Afterwards, we just have Steen interrupting the match and continuing to assault Remy Zane, leaving him on the ground. This gets a lot of heat. People were really excited to see this as it popped them. And Zane getting the message loud and clear here. You're not getting away from Kevin. You want to get rid of him, you're going to have to make him go away. So, interesting turn of events there. This kind of, again, keeps both of them sort of out of the title scene for a while, which is sort of our goal, because they should be out of the title scene for a while, because otherwise we have to kind of justify Cody continuing to beat him, or Jacob Fatu continuing to beat him, somebody continuing to beat him. Instead, they're sort of imploding and hurting their chances of winning. We got Ricky Starks and Nick Aldis versus Jacob Fatu and Zilla Fatu in our main event. It does okay. The goal here is to give Zilla some reps, continue the storyline between Nick Aldis and Ricky Starks and Jacob Fatu. Obviously, Fatu, television champion, beat Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks came out to make the save for Cody. Jacob Fatu made it known that he wants the world's title too, but right now, Ricky and Nick Aldis kind of standing in his way. They want a rematch, and they're going to try to prove that they deserve it. Unfortunately, though, Jacob Fatu and Zilla are able to defeat Ricky and Nick in 16 minutes. Jacob Fatu gets the win on Nick Aldis. During the match, we also had Uncle Fatu run in and attack Aldis because the bloodline's going to just constantly interfere. Zilla, obviously, being the weak link here, with a 20. We modified him a little bit based on what some people were saying, trying to give him a little bit more juice. But for now, he's not very popular. We'll have to see where he develops. But it didn't really negatively hamper this match too much. We got a 56. We probably could have gotten a 60 looking at it, but Nick Aldis was a 51 as well. So, the match was never going to be a top tier match. And Solo did okay, I think, for where he is. We have to see how he has to develop. Aldis was off his game, got the crowd buzzing. We gained heat for the True Bloodline storyline. And afterwards, Cody comes out, blindsides Jacob Fatu, holds up the world's title while Jacob's on the ground, and then picks up the TV title as well, and does the same thing that Jacob did to him, holding both titles up, saying basically, you want that, you want to do this, we can do this. And seemingly maybe offering a title versus title bout in the future. We'll have to see. Very interesting turn of events. So Cody's not entirely distracted by everything. He still has his eyes on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu's got a lot of enemies here right now. And we'll have to see how it plays out. This ending segment gets a 66. Show itself gets a 54. Much better than when we were the last episode. Not the strongest show, but I'm pretty happy with it. We did also have a sellout with 300 people. So pretty good. All right, let's check our news real quick. Worldwide figures 81,000 viewers, which is pretty good. Any news here for us? Not really that I see. Worldwide report was the show was excellent. So pretty good there. In terms of finances, we're week 1 in, so we can kind of see where we lasted in June. We did take a pretty good chunk out of our costs. We went from 81,000 to 64,000 with just one show. You can see our broadcast revenue is about 9,000 per show now. So we should be making a lot more money. And then obviously we'll have our pay-per-view ticket sales. Still losing money. And that'll be a problem going forward. But overall, pretty good. Also, Sean Hernandez leaving tomorrow. And so that's going to be first of the people we're probably just going to take off the sunset. But there's other people too. I'm thinking like Matt Cardona. We might just kind of lapse out. I don't think we need Aaron Solo. We kind of already are done with that. Now that Nightmare Factory is closed, I don't think we need any of them. And there's a couple other people we probably can drop at this point that we don't need. So we'll probably start cleaning that up. In terms of the tournament, obviously we have South Pacific Savages. We're going to face the winner of the Von Erichs versus the Workhorsemen, and Motor City Machine Guns are going to face the winner of Warhausen versus Aussie Open. And then we're going to have the Von Erichs and Workhorsemen and Warhausen and Aussie Open in the next show. So moving at a steady clip there to get our challengers for the tag scene. That is it for us today. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one, guys. See you next time.